Hey y'all, Nicole the Medical Mom. Lord, y'all been asking me to do a story time on how I got Jaylen into my care. So here we go. Jaylen first came to me, from my recollection, I think she was 4 going into 5, or it was right after her 5th birthday, but it was right at that point. Okay, I really don't actually remember the exact day, but she was 4 or 5, and if she was 5, she had just like hit 5. And she came into care for medical neglect. I'm one of those foster parents that will read over a application, because they send you application for the kids to see what, you know. Let me back to back. When kids come into care, there is a little application that goes out to the foster parents and gives us a little details, their name, their demographics, um, who is the responding party for us, like what parent is involved and the reason she came into care, and if they already know the plan for if it's termination or reunification, that is on there as well. So when Jaylen came to me, her thing stated something, and this is me recollecting off the top of my brain. I probably have it somewhere in storage, but me recollecting off the top of my brain that I know she came in to care for medical neglect. On there, it was stating that she came in for a kidney injury, acute kidney injury. There were speculations that she wasn't getting her TPN or IV needs met. There was no nursing situation, that they refused nursing situations, and she came to care right after she missed her first opportunity of transplant. So she had been on Pittsburgh's transplant list since she was born, or a little bit after she was born, per se. And she got called for her intestinal transplant when she was 4, okay? And for whatever reason, she was not taken. And then that's when CPS decided to take her. There had been other CPS cases, from my knowledge, but when she missed that transplant and she came in with an acute kidney injury, that's when they decided to take Jaylen. I didn't know Jaylen before she came to my home. I was at that point, I was a high-level medical care foster home, meaning I took the highest level of care. Jaylen was the highest level of care, okay? The previous 2 kids that I had taken was the highest level of care. Right before Jaylen came into care, I actually had another child that was almost in the same situation as Jaylen. She needed a small bowel transplant. She was dependent on IV needs, and she came to me with some other issues and things of that nature. So I had literally trained with my previous baby for Jaylen, and I feel like God just opened that avenue of experience for me so I can be able to prepare myself for taking care of Jaylen. Okay, so once I got involved and things of that nature, I did go to court. I did let the judge know that, the family can see her anytime. We didn't need a supervised visitation. There was no supervised visits. The first couple was, but after that, I was like, mom can call me at any time. I will meet up with her at our agreed location. But those calls stopped. Those calls stopped, and I don't know what happened during that time, but I know that I left an open line of communication. I left an open door, because the goal was to reunify Jaylen with her family. Now, when you have an active family plan or a active CPS case, you have to follow those rules and guidelines. And it was not up to me to change her reunification status to abandonment or termination. So they eventually rolled over termination of rights due to abandonment, because mom just stopped coming. She stopped calling. She stopped showing up to court. She stopped showing up to everything. And I don't have any ill will or anything bad to say about this woman, because one thing I do know, that Jaylen's situation is rare. Any doctor that laid hands on her didn't have a clue of how to take care of Jaylen. You know, a lot of them were flying blind. And I know if I had a hard time and just navigating and pushing through and things of that nature, I understand what mom went through. And the only way Jaylen was able to see right now, or see the path that she went on, was because God had a predestined plan. So no matter what happened before, Jaylen seen out her plan, okay? But when I took Jaylen in and started being the parent that I was to her, because of a lot of various reasons. Now I'm the same person across the board, but I took a extra liking to Jaylen, if you would say, because she was abandoned. I would go to the hospital with her, and they would see me and my family there with her, and the nurses would say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so happy she has a family now. I'm so happy that someone is showing up for her now." And I'm like, "What do you guys mean by that?" She was like, "She could be here for weeks and no one would actually show up. She could be here for days and nobody actually show up." As a matter of fact, the last time she was dropped off in the hospital, they dropped her in the ER and didn't even come up see her to the room. You know, and I'm just speaking. This is what was told to me. This is her truth. You know, so I wanted to make sure Jaylen felt comfortable. I wanted to make sure Jaylen felt loved. I wanted to make sure she felt seen. I wanted to make sure she felt heard. And she did not have to endure abandonment anymore. That's why you never see me leave Jaylen's side. That's why you see me show up for her the way she showed up. She had already endured so much in her personal life that her medical care was hindered. I had to fight and break down doors for Jaylen because of her past social history. Texas Children's did not want to take on her care because of her past social history. Herman was on the way out the door because of her past social history. Pittsburgh did not grant her small bowel transplant because of the previous transplant that was missed. And because she had new caregivers, they didn't even want to give me the chance because of her past social history. The only reason she got her kidney transplant in Pittsburgh is because we went there. She got sick, and they seen what type of parent that I was. They seen what type of care that I gave Jaylen. They seen firsthand that I was there for her. That was the only reason she got her kidney transplant, because Pittsburgh did not want to give her any more care. And as soon as she got that kidney transplant, they dropped care. They said, "We cannot do this anymore." And because I knew that I had a previous child that went to Nebraska, and I had been to Nebraska several times on several visits and evaluations with this other child, I said, let me give Nebraska a chance. And that's how Nebraska came into play. So that's how Jaylen came into care. There's a lot more to the story, but I just want to give you guys a rundown to make a clear picture of what actually happened. When Jaylen came to me, she was so frail. She was so scared. She wouldn't come downstairs to be with anybody. She wanted to isolate herself because that's what she was used to, is isolation. We would have family movie nights, and you would see her slowly come down the stairs, slowly come to the end of the stairs, go to the back of the couch. And then finally she came to the front of the couch and actually sat down after months of being in our home. That baby been through so much, and that's why I wanted her light to shine, because she deserved that. She deserved to be a star in this world. And if y'all don't see that, I don't know what else to tell y'all. The story is bigger than what you see, what I've shown you. But we'll get to it slowly.